Hey, good morning. It is Saturday, November the 15th. Energy for the week. This will be for tomorrow, Sunday the 16th, through next Saturday, the 22nd. And after I do this, I want to talk a little bit about some of the weird things that happened for me this week, based on the energy that I brought last week. So, the energy for this week was very strange. Again, it was like as I was kind of cycling through the days. Last week, I remember I said freight train. It was like it was going to be fast moving. And to an extent, for me, it was, even with the really strange things that happened. This week, it was weird. It was almost like the further I got, the more days I looked through, the slower each one got. And it kind of almost felt like coming to a standstill, like time standing still. And it had an air to it of feeling like creeping and crawling along, like in an uncomfortable, painful sort of matter that then for some reason led me to the feeling of, I don't know if this is tied directly to this coming week or not. I want to remind and caution people that we need to do our very best to stay out of our personal biases and cognitive dissonance in information in a way that, for example, you have a favorite, musician or celebrity, actor, whatever. We don't really know these people. We need to remember that these parasocial relationships that we have with like people in the public eye or people on social media, we know what's curated and just the portion that's presented to us. We do not know the whole person, right? And so imagining like I have had a couple of my very, very favorite music artists suddenly really disappoint me. And it kind of feels like you're rocked for a minute. We need to remember that information is likely to be coming out where we need to be able to take a step back and go, that's super upsetting and disappointing, and not have our entire psyche rocked. Because no matter who comes up in conversation, we need to be prepared to review that information as if there's strong potential it's true, and that there's a lot of really disgusting things going on and have been for a long, long time. So please stay out of your cognitive dissonance to the very best of your ability, and keep an open mind that corruption is corruption is corruption, no matter who it is. And if it can be exposed and removed, it needs to be, regardless of who it is. Okay, that felt strong. And the slowing down, I don't know if the slowing down sensation was like screeching to a halt, like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I don't know if it's just the energy, like we're in the middle of this Mercury retrograde time frame. The Kazemi, I think, is sometime this coming week. I don't even know when that is. I know the new moon is next Thursday, which I did not know until just the last handful of days talking to my one astrologer friend, which is interesting because I had before said that November 13th felt important, and then it felt like the 13th moving through to the 20/21st. Well, the evening of the 12th was when all of this stuff started to drop. The 13th was where even more of it and bigger parts of it came to light. So that was an interesting timing there. It got quieter yesterday, but I don't think that we're done with some information or some whatever. Also watch the distraction machine trying to come out, and that's already happening. Like, oh, don't look over at all of that stuff that we don't want you to see. Look over here where we're going to talk about, South American countries and the things we want to do to that. Just be prepared for that too. So it's a wild new moon on the 20th. I just found out 2 nights ago talking to my astrologer friend. So yeah, let's just be prepared for some of that, okay? Let me know the things that may have happened with you this past week if you experienced things. I had a coworker who told me on Friday, yesterday, she said, Wednesday, I kept thinking it was Thursday. And now today, I woke up and started working as if There were things I needed to do tomorrow, thinking tomorrow was Friday. So I thought today was Thursday, but it's actually Friday. So she had like the weird, what day of the week is it things. I had like wildly strong things that I can't just say were coincidence. They were like weird and like glitch in the matrix kind of things. Definitely technology related things. Emails that I'm like trying to file away into my folders that keep duplicating and replacing themselves. And like, why is that? You know, you drag it and put it in a folder and then it like refreshes, but it duplicates the same email twice instead of moving it. And then I try to click it again and it's like, you can't do that because you already did it. And I'm like, why am I looking at two of them? And the website's not updating properly. And when this is the dumbest thing, but I had three all in the same day. And the weirdest thing, we have a countertop ice maker. And because our refrigerator, our freezer ice maker doesn't work. And so I make the ice. I start it every morning and I scoop it out of that when it fills up and I put it in the bin of the freezer. And I did that for hours one day. And every time I opened it up to dump it in the freezer, there was like nothing in there. Like nobody else in the house is using ice yet. Like two people weren't like one person wasn't even here. One of them was still in bed because it's my teenage son. And my husband wasn't here. Like, why is there no ice here? It ran for hours and I emptied it like 6 times and there was no ice. It's the dumbest thing. But there were two other things that very specific day that was like, you know, such and such is happening. You know, we're talking about, it was a song. It was a song. One of them was a song from 1972 that nobody has like thought of or heard of for years, years and years and years. And my husband, like a week before, walked in the kitchen singing it. And I was like, why are you singing that song? He's like, I don't know, it popped in my head. Several days later, he walked in the kitchen singing again. I was like, why are you singing that song? Where did it come? He's like, I don't know, it popped in my head. It happens to also be a song that we used in one of my dance recitals as a finale. And then last week, he and I got in the car and we went to pick up burritos in a new place in town. And that song came on the radio. And I was like, and I mean, it's a weird song. It's not like the Eagles or something, you know, like just weird stuff like that. All of it, and I had multiple in the same day. So anyway, I had multiple kind of glitch in the matrix, technology, weird things. Let me know what you may have experienced last week because it was a weird week for me. Otherwise, yeah, just let me know how you're doing. It's wild times. It's gonna get wilder. The other thing that did happen today, I just remembered, I was having weird body sensations again that only happened when I got into like the deepest part of my meditation and are completely gone right now. The first thing was almost as if it felt like it pushed my head to the side. It was like a pressure and almost like I think even in meditation, my head may have even like physically moved. A weird sensation here, and then that same side leg, feet flat on the ground, and it felt like my leg collapsed and fell through the floor for a moment. I know that John Fetterman fell the other day, but I wonder if sometime coming up soon we may see another fall, public collapse, something, because that was noticeable. So, I mean, I know we have like the Mitch McConnells of the world and everything, and of course, you know, who. So I just wouldn't be surprised if we saw another circumstance like that. But okay, I think that's finally all I have for you today. Let me know how you're doing. How's everybody? It's weird times. We're gonna stick together. I hope to have some new things that I can bring to you sometime too. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it at that because that Mercury is helping me communicate really well at the moment. I don't even care. See you guys.